the most humiliating year of my life. I wanted a divorce but didn't dare say it. The only chance I got was when my wife's ex asked me to bring condoms to him and my wife. I secretly poked 10 holes in them. I'm already raising their 2 kids for them, after all. I really can't handle another one. Everyone in Beijing's upper circles knows the ex-wife of the richest man is 36 years older than me. She married me just to get me to take care of her 2 kids. When I found out my wife wouldn't be coming home and would give me 5 million pocket money every month, I agreed to marry into her family right away. My stepson loves skipping class to play esports. I straight up dumped money to buy the entire top-tier esports club, got top pro players to own him in shifts, until he feels sick just looking at a keyboard. My stepdaughter is obsessed with chasing celebrities all day. I just signed that super popular A-list male star and brought him to the manor to serve her tea and water full-time, shatter her fan filter on the spot. Just when I was about to become sworn brothers with those 2 brats, several lines of semi-transparent subtitles suddenly floated in front of my eyes. That's the gold-digging deadbeat stepdad. The real biological dad is about to show up any second. He's the real legitimate birth father. The second he shows up, those twins will definitely remember their blood ties and betray you immediately. Team up with their real dad to kick this live-in son-in-law out. The gold digger will end up begging for food under a bridge on the street. The whole family of 4 will get back together and live happily ever after. Want to steal the chill life I built while lying low. I stubbed out my cigarette and kicked the 2 brats, who were gaming on the leather sofa. Let's get to work. Go dig out all the hidden treasures your mom stashed away. Tonight we're spending every last penny. We're not leaving a single cent for that random deadbeat dad who popped out of nowhere. As soon as I finished speaking, the 2 lazy bums who were slumping around bolted up right away. My stepson Liu Zhou's eyes lit up. Are you talking about the unlimited black card? She hid in the secret compartment of the wine cellar. My stepdaughter Liu Ranran even threw away her brand new bag. And those limited edition. Richard Mille watches in her closet safe. I patted their shoulders proudly. Look how professional these little snitches are. They know the lay of the land better than I do. Pack everything up. We're heading straight to the fanciest club later. The subtitles in front of me started panicking again. Is this live-in son-in-law insane? He's dead meat soon and still wasting President Liu's money like that. The ex-husband is at the door with a paternity test right now. This guy is definitely asking for trouble. When President Liu comes back and sees the house is cleaned out, she'll definitely kick him out with nothing. I didn't pay any attention to these stupid subtitles at all. Since everyone calls me the worst stepdad ever, I might as well show off some next-level terrible skills. 20 minutes later, Liu Shu had the black card in his pocket. Liu Ranran carried a suitcase full of luxury watches. Both of them were grinning like perfect filial kids. Dad, where are we going to have fun? I want the most expensive booth. Liu Ranran asked excitedly. To the most expensive club in Beijing. No one gets to leave tonight until we max out this card. Oh, right. Send your mom a live location on the way. I waved my hand and took the 2 kids speeding away. Right as we stepped on the gas, a beat-up old rideshare car parked right at the manor gate. A man in a washed-out white shirt, looking all fragile and sad, got out of the car. This was the legendary female CEO's first love and the kid's real dad, Lin Che. He'd been holding back tears for the father-kid reunion the whole ride and prepared a bunch of super emotional lines. But facing the completely empty mansion, he choked all of it back. The screen was full of question mark subtitles. Where are they? Weren't they supposed to be shaking at home, waiting for the real dad to show up? Where did this family of 3 go? Right now in the top VIP booth of Beijing's fanciest club. The table is stacked with Richard Mille watches. Rows of imported alcohol are all opened. 2 rows of suit-wearing, tie-clad, male model waiters are standing straight. Liu Zhou is shaking champagne like crazy. Liu Ranran is ordering the hot guys to cut fruit for her. I'm slumping on the leather sofa and glanced at my phone screen. My so-called domineering CEO wife had called me more than a dozen times. I immediately rejected the calls and turned off my phone. Want me to leave with nothing? Not a chance in hell. Lin Che is actually pretty capable. He actually found where we are. When the private room door was pushed open, I was grabbing the mic screaming rock songs with Liu Zhou. Liu Ranran was handing out tips everywhere with cash in her hand. Lin Che at the door had half-wet shoulders, paired with his thin, fragile frame. He looked exactly like a weather-beaten little white flower, totally out of place in our messy, loud room. The subtitles were scrolling like crazy. The ex-husband is so miserable, his own flesh and blood are right in front of him. Both kids have been led astray by this deadbeat stepdad. They have zero sense of family bonds. Look, the biological father is crying. Countdown to bloodline awakening. Lin Chi's eyes instantly flushed red. Tears streamed down his face nonstop. Xiaozu Ran. It's Daddy, okay? That call was so shrill and agonizing. It even sounded like the speaker was echoing. The deafening music got cut off immediately. Liu Zhou froze mid-motion with the beer bottle in his hand. Liu Ran forgot to chew the cherry in her mouth. She stared blankly at the door. I spat out the sunflower seed shell. I stayed perfectly calm in my seat. Didn't say a single word. When Lin Che saw no one cared about his feelings, he gritted his teeth and lunged straight at the boy. Son, Daddy has suffered so much. I've missed you two like crazy all these years. Liu Chu dodged super nimbly and darted right behind the sofa I was sitting on. Who are you, old man? Get that stench of poverty away from me. Don't get it on my custom designer hoodie. Lin Che froze on the spot. He stared at his own kid in total disbelief. I'm your biological dad, don't you remember? When you were little, you loved riding. On Daddy's shoulders eating candied hawthorns. I don't eat that gross stuff. Only old Zhang, the driver's grandson, eats that. Liu Zhou rolled his eyes so hard he almost saw his brain. He didn't hold back at all, shattering his delusion. Besides, I only drive supercars now, and collect limited edition figurines. Can you even afford to buy me? 10 of the latest track supercars. Lin Che's face turned deathly pale. His fingers dug hard into the faded seam of his pants. He's just a broke painter who came back to China down on his luck. How the hell would he afford supercars? The comments instantly blew up in anger. That's so cruel. This guy taught the kids to only care about money. Don't cry, male lead. Grab the paternity test and throw it in their faces. Make them face the truth. Lin Che fumbled with shaking hands in his tattered bag and pulled out a crumpled test report. This is the DNA test report. It proves we're blood-related. Liu Ran spat out the cherry pit at this point and stood up slowly and casually. She circled around Lin Che once, her eyes full of open contempt. She even covered her nose on purpose. Can blood relation pay my bills? Can you throw money at me to get me to the top of the rankings? Can you invite a bunch of A-list celebrities to my house for a private fan meet and greet? If you don't have a single cent to spend, why the hell did you even come back? To steal our family's trust fund? Lin Che turned completely stiff like a statue. This plot is going totally off the rails. The script was supposed to be a tearful family reunion, right? How did it turn into a debt collection scene? Liu Ruyan finally showed up. The box door was thrown open violently. This multi-billionaire female CEO walked right into the most absurd scene ever. Her ex-husband Lin Che was slumping on the carpet, crying his eyes out. Me, the current husband, was leaning in the booth, peeling pistachios. His two biological kids were hiding behind my leather jacket, staring at their biological dad like he's a total idiot. What the hell is wrong with all of you? Liu Ruyan's brows furrowed into a tight knot, and she snapped at everyone angrily. Hearing that angry roar, Lin Che acted like he just grabbed a lifeline, scrambled over and hugged Liu Ruyan's high heel. Ruyan, I finally found you. Don't blame the kids for being distant. I was away from home for too many years. But how could you, the current husband, bring underage kids to this hedonistic den? This will completely ruin them. This retreat to advanced trick he pulled is actually really well executed, and he even tried to frame me for no reason. Liu Ruyan glanced at the empty liquor bottles on the table, then looked at the shivering, male model waiters standing nearby. Her gaze turned ice cold. Her sharp gaze locked straight onto me. Goofan, is this how you usually teach them? I slowly grabbed a tissue and wiped the pistachio crumbs off my fingers. Oh, you're upset, President Liu? Use your supplementary card to pay for your two kids' happiness? That's a pretty good deal. Besides, we didn't touch any illegal substances, nor did we cause any trouble. We're just here to listen to music and drink some juice. Then I flicked my fingers casually and pointed at the row of broad-shouldered, slim-waisted male models. Let your daughter broaden her horizons early. Learn about the diversity of carbon-based male species, so she doesn't get tricked by some cheap loser who only knows how to cry and steal her family's fortune in the future. Liu Ruyan was so stunned she couldn't speak for ages. The semi-transparent comments went absolutely feral. This kept man is next level. That counter move was absolutely perfect. Damn, that's biodiversity for real. His mouth is way more toxic than actual poison. Boss Liu, go comfort your ex-husband already. Pull him into your arms and comfort him hard. Let's go get that second chance romance. Liu Ruyan did bend down and yank Lin Che up, but her eyes held none of the Lingering old affection netizens were hoping for. Instead, they showed a hint of impatience. Now that you're back in the country, come back to the manor with me first. She rubbed the space between her brows, looking completely worn out. A flicker of smugness crossed Lin Che's eyes. He secretly shot me a provocative look. I brushed off my cuffs and gave him a casual, unbothered look back. That mansion was already renovated by me ages ago into something he can never afford to be part of. The second we stepped through the door, Lin Che couldn't wait to play the loving dad card. Dripping with rainwater that hadn't dried yet, he dashed straight into the open kitchen to cook. Xiaozu ran ran. Daddy's gonna make you plain noodle soup. You loved this so much when you were little. Liu Zhou and Liu Ran Ran quickly exchanged a horrified look. Not hungry, I'm ordering a family bucket. I want cumin grilled meat. The boy jumped 3 feet in the air. I want extra spicy roasted pig brains. The girl chimed in right away. By the time Lin Che walked out of the kitchen holding 2 bowls with a few pieces of greens floating in them, the delivery rider rang the doorbell right on cue. Piles of sizzling oily lamb skewers, 2 big bowls of bright red spicy crayfish, plus a big bucket of ice-cold Coke. The strong spicy aroma instantly made those 2 plain noodle bowls look like total garbage. Lin Che's knuckles went white as he gripped the bowls, shaking slightly with rage. All of this is unhealthy fried junk food. Eating too much will hurt your stomach. I grabbed a lamb tendon skewer casually and ripped off a huge chunk. The juicy fat filled my mouth. Mr. Lin, people only live once. We just want to be comfortable. That bland slop in your bowl, even the samoyed in the backyard wouldn't glance at it. Lin Che was eventually arranged to stay in the guest room next to the first-floor master bedroom, but he obviously had no sense that he was staying in someone else's house. The next morning, he started a huge cleaning spree around the villa. He called it decluttering, to purify the living space for the kids. When the 3 of us, me and the kids, slept until noon and came downstairs yawning, the first floor was completely unrecognizable. Liu Zhou's hand-painted limited edition mecha model was torn apart in the recycling bin. Liu Ranran's expensive top celebrity autographed poster was crumpled into a ball of waste paper. Even the bottle of Romane Conti I left on the bar that I never dared open was poured completely down the sink by him. He replaced it with a pot of warm boiled water. Oh my god, my Apocalypse Mecha! It has a unique global serial number. You can't even buy it no matter how much money you have. Liu Zhou let out a zombie-like howl. Liu Ranran immediately burst into tears. My autographed poster. Lin Che, are you out of your mind? Lin Che was wearing rubber gloves, standing in the middle of the living room with an innocent look on his face. Xiaozu Ranran. Those plastic toys take up too much space. They're a distraction from your studies. And those male celebrity posters. Daddy thinks they're totally inappropriate. I'm doing this all for your future. The comments went completely wild. Great job, ex-hubby. It's about time someone set rules for these brats. This is what a real dad does. He's putting so much effort into his kids. The live-in son-in-law just spoils them rotten. Only a biological father will discipline them properly. The kids will understand his good intentions sooner or later. I leaned against the second-floor spiral staircase railing, looking down at the first-floor chaos and scoffed. Lin Che, did you get amnesia from living abroad? The property deed of this mansion has my name on it right now. On my property. Throwing away my personal belongings? Who gave you the right? Lin Che looked up at me, his eyes red, looking extremely wronged. Bufan, I know you don't want me here, but the kids are innocent. You can't just pamper them to win them over and let them indulge in pleasure all the time. I'm saving them. What a load of self-righteous nonsense. Just then, Liu Ruyan walked out of the study in a robe, saw the mess all over the floor. Her face immediately darkened with anger. The fake innocent Lin Che immediately ran over to tattle to her. Ruyan, look. Bufan has spoiled the kids so much. Look how they're acting. They have no motivation to improve. How will they take over Dingsheng Group in the future? Liu Ruyan's gaze swept over the broken mecha parts in the trash. It was the 14th birthday gift she had used her top connections to get for her son. Then she glanced at her daughter's tear-streaked face. Finally, her cold, sharp gaze landed on the self-righteous Lin Che. Heads up, live comments are about to blow up. High energy warning. The domineering lady boss is about to lose her temper. President Liu will definitely side with her biological dad. After all, blood is thicker than water. That gigolo better pack his bags and get lost. Everyone assumed Liu Ruyan would lash out at me. Lin Che even straightened his back slightly, getting ready to receive words of comfort, but Liu Ruyan let out a heavy breath, her voice bitingly cold. That mecha model of Lin Che's I sent someone to bid for it overseas and won it. The final price was 1.2 million. The pitiful look on Lin Che's face cracked instantly. And that pile of so-called waste paper you mentioned, Ran spent a whole month making that poster. I used my connections to get that reading notebook for her. Liu Ruyan's tone was cold enough to form ice shards. You didn't even say hello when you walked in, and destroyed their most treasured belongings. Is this the fatherly love you keep talking about? Lin Che was completely flustered. He never would have dreamed all this junk. Scattered on the floor was worth a fortune. I really had no idea. I just thought the house should be tidier. Shut up! Liu Ruyan cut him off mercilessly. Then looked up at me on the second floor, a rare hint of pleading in her eyes. Before I could even open my mouth to respond, I saw that usually unruly teen suddenly point at me from the second floor, his voice firm and loud. Stop saying you're doing this for my own good. Do you even know what model this mecha is? Do you have any idea how valuable this limited edition is? You know nothing at all. Uncle Gufan doesn't stop me from playing games, but he knows I only take it out of the display case to look at it when I get first place in school at semester end. He never touches my personal stuff without my permission. That's called having boundaries. You're not loving me at all. You're just doing this to make yourself feel good. Lin Che stumbled back half a step from the scolding. Before he could steady himself, Liu Ran wiped away her tears, watching coldly from the side. And you said my idol is indecent just now. He's the National Anti-Fraud Promotion Ambassador and founder of a foundation for remote mountain communities. The girl squatted down, very carefully, smoothing out the crumpled poster. Uncle Gufan will book an entire theater to watch his movies with me and supports me to shine just like my idol. But you, my biological dad, only trample my dreams into the trash. Uncle Lin Che, Liu Ran deliberately emphasized those two words. Compared to a biological dad who only throws others' things away, I'd rather have a stepdad who understands and respects me. The comments section looked like a bunch of choked ducks. It went dead silent instantly. Then the tide turned completely. Holy shit. This is a massive public humiliation moment. Doesn't matter if you're biological or not. Throwing away stuff worth hundreds of thousands behind people's backs is way too out of line. These two kids are so level-headed. I need this same amazing stepdad too. Lin Che's face turned deathly pale. How can you talk to your biological dad like this? I'm the one who gave you life. I raised an eyebrow, leaned on the railing with one hand and walked down lightly, then slammed my phone with the asset bill right in front of him. Cut the sappy crap, Mr. Lin. Let's talk about facts instead. The mecha model cost 1.2 million. The limited edition signature counts as 300K in emotional damages. My bottle of red wine is 2.8 million. I curled my lips and stepped closer to him until he had nowhere to back up. That adds up to 4.3 million total, since you keep saying you're doing this for the kids. Then this quality education fee, are you paying by card, cash, or check, Mr. Lin? Lin Che's eyes almost popped out of his head. This is daylight robbery. I'm the two kids' biological father. Think I'm blackmailing you? Turn left and call the cops anytime. But before the police come to investigate, you better come up with a good story first, to explain to your own kids why you had the right to unilaterally destroy everything they cherish most. Two icy stares simultaneously landed on Lin Che. There was no warmth left in these two kids' eyes at all. The comments section went completely silent. I leaned slightly closer to his ear and said coldly, blood relation isn't a get-out-of-jail-free card, and definitely not a free pass for destroying property. The only rule for living under this roof is mutual respect. If you can't even respect basic boundaries, then you pay to make this right. If you can't pay, I glanced at him disgustedly, at his faded, washed-out shirt. Then you clean up and restore everything right now. Then curl up into a ball and get the hell out of here. He couldn't afford to pay the sky-high compensation, and he was salivating over the rich family lifestyle. So Lin Che could only write an IOU in humiliation. His status in the manor plummeted instantly. From the beloved white moonlight, he thought he was to a debt-ridden worker, but he really just wouldn't go away. Since he couldn't worm his way into their daily lives, he decided to get ahead by meddling in their studies. That night, Liu Zhou was wearing noise-canceling headphones in his room playing a team training match. Lin Che walked in uninvited with a cup of warm milk. Xiaozhou, knock it off and get serious. I asked someone to get you special review packets for a key high school. A top tutor will come to teach you first thing tomorrow morning. Liu Zhou kept his eyes glued to the screen. He didn't even lift his head. No time, I've got an all-star tryout tomorrow. Seeing this, Lin Che yanked the Ethernet cable out of the computer case What good can staring at this stupid computer all day do you? Look at your terrible report card. How are you going to get into a good college later? I'm doing all this to pave the way for your future. Looking at the monitor that went black instantly, Lucho was so furious he almost smashed his 10,000 yuan mechanical keyboard. Lincha, are you freaking insane? I'm already a top starting player for a domestic pro esports team's trainee squad. My signing bonus is 7 figures. Why the hell would I need to go to college? Lincha's entire worldview was completely shaken. In his old-fashioned way of thinking, clicking a mouse all day is just a useless waste of time. How is esports even a real serious job? It's just a short-lived gig that only works when you're young. You have to go to school. The two were completely at each other's throats. Liucho kicked the door open in a rage and ran straight to my master bedroom. Stepdad, help me. That crazy old man is forcing me to study textbooks. I was lying on the couch with a clay mask on, scrolling short videos. I just calmly pointed to the chair across from me when I heard him.
Chill out. I'll handle this myself tomorrow morning.
The next morning, the top tutor Lin Che arranged for arrived at the door. He was a little old man with thick reading glasses and an extremely rigid personality. At the same time, I also hired a group of people to walk into the courtyard. The brutal head coach of the national champion esports team was followed by 2 active pro players with over 10 million fans each. In the high-ceilinged living room, the 2 groups just stared at each other awkwardly. Lin Cho was furious, pointing at me, with his hand shaking violently. Goofan, what the hell are you up to? Are you dead set on pushing Xiaozhou into the fire pit? I slowly took a sip of Dahong Pao tea. Mr. Lin, the world has changed a long time ago. Every profession can produce top talent. Since Xiaozhou has super fast hand speed and real talent in this field, why not let him go for it and support him? Besides, I never said I'd let him fool around without studying. I turned to the head coach, who had a tough, muscular face, and waved him over. Coach, from now on, all of Xiaozhou's academic requirements will be fully managed by your team base. No matter how good you are at gaming, your English can never fall behind. Otherwise, when you lead the team to play world championships overseas, how are you going to win trash talk battles against foreigners? The coach immediately straightened his back and saluted properly. Don't worry, Mr. Gu. Our club uses strict military-style management. No one is allowed to use the computer if their vocabulary isn't up to standard. When Liu Zhu heard this, a strange, excited light flashed in his eyes. Are you for real? I can get the starting spot as long as I pass my English exam. 100% true. Lu Chu zoomed back up to the second floor and quickly brought down 3 thick English textbooks. Coach, wait here for me. I'm going to go memorize those stupid clauses right now. Watching his own son holding the textbooks, studying so hard his eyes were red, Lynch's jaw almost hit the floor. Seeing this, the stern old top tutor silently tightened his grip on his briefcase, turned around and left immediately. This kind of ferocious, driven kid. Sorry, I'm too old to teach him. The translucent bullet comments went crazy again. Holy crap, who would have thought of that? It looks totally absurd at first glance, but you have to admit, the stepdad's trick works like a charm. The ex-husband's old-fashioned ideas totally backfired. Times have changed. I leaned back on the couch, quietly enjoying Lin Che's devastated, grief-stricken face. I felt absolutely fantastic inside. He still tried to pressure me with moral kidnapping. That snobbish idea of his that all other professions are inferior to studying is so outdated now. It doesn't work at all in this day and age. On the Liu family's turf, any smooth path that can be paved with money is never a problem for us. If you ever run into a problem you can't fix, it's just because you haven't spent enough money on it. After hitting a wall over and over again, Lincha quickly switched to another tactic. He tried to play the victim to get public sympathy. He wanted to use public opinion to cancel me online. Coincidentally, a top domestic celebrity parent-child outdoor survival reality show sent us an invitation. I don't like showing my face in public normally, and I didn't want to take this annoying gig at all. But Lin Che used some shady tricks somehow and blocked Liu Ruyan right in front of her, garage, crying and sniveling to her. He kept saying this was the perfect chance to fix our family conflicts and show the public our warm CEO family vibe. To put an end to the endless family drama, the workaholic Mr. Liu actually signed and agreed. The day we left for the filming, Lin Che went out of his way to dig out an old jacket that's faded from washing. He even did his makeup to look like he'd pulled 3 all-nighters, all haggard and beat up. Now look at me, wearing a 6-figure dark custom couture outfit, looking crisp and loaded. Luzhou and Liu Ranran were rocking limited edition sneakers, cocky as if they were heading to Fashion Week. The car just pulled into the set. Lin Che immediately flipped his model worker switch. He volunteered to carry 3 suitcases all by himself, rushed to build the stove and light the fire. He even hunched over to hand out bottles of mineral water to every crew member around one by one, facing the camera that was filming right up in his face. This grown man's eyes instantly turned red. His voice choked up. I've been away for too long. I just want to grab this chance with all I've got to make up for my duties as a biological father. Even if I have to do the toughest work and suffer the most exhaustion, I'll have no complaints at all. As long as the 2 siblings accept me as their dad, I'd even trade my life for that. The live comment section was immediately flooded with sympathy. The ex-husband is so pitiful. This is making my eyes burn. Where's that deadbeat live-in son-in-law? He's just lazing around acting like a boss. His skin is thicker than a city wall. The difference is night and day. That's the core difference between blood relatives and outsiders. They weren't lying, I was indeed lazing around. Not only did I confidently take over the only premium camping chair, I also propped my long legs up and ordered Dushuto Piru Macadamia nuts for me, and told Liu Renran to hold a small cooling fan next to me, tilted a bit to the left. It's not hitting my back. This nut is over-roasted. It's a little bitter. Xiaochu, you eat it? Pick me a perfect one. The usually hot-tempered young Master Long didn't complain at all, just stuffed the bitter nut into his mouth, then turned and trotted off to rummage for top-quality nuts. Liu Renran was fanning me while leaning over sweetly to ask, Dad, is this wind speed okay? Want me to get a basin of ice from the RV to cool you down more? This absurd scene completely fried the brains of hundreds of thousands of live viewers. Am I seeing things? Did these 2 rich brats get cursed? They're cold to their biological dad, but obey every word of this live-in son-in-law. Is this the legendary unequal blood suppression law? Wait, no, they're not even blood-related at all. Next up was the picnic cooking segment. The director used a megaphone to tell the main cooks to make home-cooked dishes that the kids would remember. Lin Che got super hyped up like he was on steroids, waving his spatula, frying, stir-frying, boiling, the whole works, making a full table of great-looking home-style dishes. Braised local pork, sweet and sour grass carp, stir-fried seasonal veggies. Every dish practically radiated the glow of raw, fatherly love. The camera finally pointed at me. I slowly took out my phone and dialed an encrypted number. It's me. Send my Core Black Pearl 3 Diamond team. Bring exclusive ingredients, fly to my location right now. I'm hosting an outdoor meal here. Less than 30 minutes later, a private helicopter printed with Dingsheng Group's gold logo landed with a roar in the middle of the vacant lot. 8 Michelin-certified chefs in snow-white uniforms filed out one after another and immediately set up a full set of top-tier cooking equipment. Grilled M9 grade Wagyu, freshly shaved fresh white truffle, caviar appetizers. The overwhelming scent of top-tier ingredients completely drowned out the sweet and sour smells from that table of home-cooked food in seconds. Liu Zhou and Liu Ranran didn't hide the fact that they were drooling like crazy. Their eyes practically turned green. Lin Che glanced at the braised pork. He'd worked up a whole sweat to make, then looked at my setup that was as fancy as a state banquet. His face looked like he'd just eaten an entire bitter melon raw. The production team holding cameras next to us were wiping cold sweat off their foreheads. Mr. Gu, isn't this against the rules? I casually spread my hands at the drone camera. The rules don't say you can't use hacks, right? Besides, this is my exclusive dad recipe. Superpower fixes everything. The comment section completely blew up. LMAO superpower fixes my ass. This live-in son-in-law is such a real one. I'm following him, following Boss Dad. Do you need a godson who can drive a Benz one-handed? I also want to eat Michelin-level food. The carefully planned sob story Lin Che had prepared got completely destroyed by the heavy punch of capital, shattered into pieces on the spot. After the show went live, its popularity exploded exponentially. Too bad the viral part wasn't the ex-husband's repressed fatherly love. It was my unbeatable, slacking and money-flashing attitude that went viral. Netizens even gave me a nickname on their own, the most sober, legendary stepdad on earth. Lin Che was burning with jealousy and finally decided to go all in with no turning back. After wrapping up work in the evening, he forcefully dragged Liu Ranran to the edge of the woods. He stared dead at the girl's arm. Ranran, what's with that mark under your arm? Did that bastard Gu fan beat you up behind everyone's back? Liu Ranran was totally confused. Her brows were tightly furrowed. What mark are you even talking about? That's a limited edition temporary tattoo. But Lin Che acted like he was completely deaf and spun around abruptly. He dragged the girl all the way to the live streaming camera and started wailing. I never would have dreamed that that animal beats a minor in his luxury mansion. Everyone look at this kid's body, all these black and blue bruises. The bruises are on my kid, but the pain cuts straight to my heart. I can't live like this anymore. Public opinion immediately blew up to a boiling point. Domestic violence against a minor is, no matter where it happens, a jaw-dropping, horrific crime. The screen full of bullet comments instantly turned into a blizzard of condemnation. I knew this guy was a beast in human skin. That's so disgusting. Call the cops and arrest him right now. Preserve the scene and lock him up for 10 years. He deserves the death penalty. The entire crew was forced to shut down production. When Liu Ruyan, who was far in the city, saw the hot search, she told her driver to speed all night to the campsite. Facing all the furious accusations, I didn't even lift my eyelids and stayed sitting steadily on the small stool eating pumpkin seeds. Lin Che is making up lies out of thin air that I hurt someone. He needs to show some solid proof, right? Lin Che suddenly flipped up half of Liu Renran's sleeve and pointed at that dark mark. The evidence is irrefutable. It's right there on the kid's skin. Millions of pairs of eyes are watching you. You still want to deny it. Liu Renran looked down at her, prized death metal skull pattern, and rolled her eyes so hard they almost got stuck. Come on, mister. This is a super realistic dark-style temporary tattoo I bought online the day before yesterday. After saying that, the girl just put some makeup remover on her finger and rubbed it hard against her arm. A miracle happened. That seemingly horrifying domestic abuse bruise peeled right off, revealing her glowing fair skin underneath. The entire campground immediately fell into dead silence for half a minute. Lin Che's shrill wailing got stuck right in his throat, unable to go up or down. There's no way this is real. I brushed the pumpkin seed crumbs off my palms and slowly stood up straight. Painter Lin, next time you're in a hurry to frame someone, please download an app first and catch up with the young people's world. Kids born after 2000 these days have glow-in-the-dark paint, body paint, fake severed limb molds. What kind of tricks can't they pull off? Where did you even copy this garbage framing scheme? From some cheap 90s street pulp novel? Liu Ruyan, who witnessed this entire absurd farce, had a face so dark it could drip ink right now. The way she looked at Lin Che was like she was looking at a stinking piece of garbage. Enough, stop showing how low you can go here. Pack up your people and your luggage right now, and get the hell out of my sight. Lin Che's legs went weak, and collapsed like a dead dog in the weeds. The child abuse case he racked his brain to cook up didn't hurt me at all. Instead, he turned himself completely into a total clown all over the internet. The mood in the live stream once again went through a completely predictable 180-degree turn. This is freaking hilarious. Who the hell calls a temporary tattoo a severe bruise? This toxic dad is so desperate to get famous, huh? He even uses his own daughter as a sacrifice. Feel so bad for the lady boss for a second. Getting married when you were young and naive brought you 10 lifetimes of bad luck. After this devastating blow, Lin Che completely lost any hope of ever clearing his name. His status in the manor now isn't even as good as half the finger of the security guard at the gate. And I just kept living my normal, perfectly uneventful, top-tier kept man life. The only difference was that 2 human-shaped pendants stuck to my back and wouldn't go away. Stepdad, can you send me the link to that tattoo shop? I want to get one too. I want to split the order too. Tomorrow I'm going to get a full back Prajna tattoo. To scare that scumbag to death? I looked at the 2 overexcited brats next to me and rubbed my temples with a headache. These rich kids are way too easy to manipulate. After that, Lin Che hid in the villa for about a week, but I know this bastard's nature too well. He's holding back some bad tricks for the next round. Sure enough, he switched up his tricks again a few days later. Since he can't leech off the kids, he figured he should catch the ringleader first and go straight for his wife, who has hundreds of billions in assets. He started hanging around constantly like a ghost. Near Liu Ruyan's study, served nourishing tonics and enjoyed black tea. He was totally going for that classic midnight beauty companion vibe. He even ridiculously dug out the old campus heartthrob-style white shirts they wore when dating